Hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day out here today. Bitcoin is down just a little bit, but things remain, I would say, actually doing pretty well here. Loki just ran off, but if I call him, I think he will come and play. Loki. No. He's doing something more important. I don't know. Oh. As soon as I say it, get over here. Attack. Yeah. So Loki's been in a playful mood as always here today. Oop, there we go. But now he can actually look at you guys kind of from the camera view. Okay, good boy. Yeah, whoosh, yeah, shit, good boy. All right, so happy to see all of you guys here today. Looks like right now Bitcoin's only down about less than 1%. Ethereum's down a teeny bit. XRP's down a little bit. Things overall are looking pretty good. Want to let you guys know, if you guys can, please make sure to like the stream as soon as you guys see this. Comment, say hello. That type of stuff always helps with the stream, especially since I've been demonetized. But I'm going to have a fun stream here tonight. Bitcoin technical analysis, going over some news and things like that, looking at the rest of the market here. I think what I want to do this week is actually start putting together a kind of a YOLO meme coin list, or altcoin list maybe is a better way to put it. Maybe we'll have different portfolios in which, you know, the average investor could toss anywhere from 50 to 100 bucks and then just start, you know, putting a little bit of money in there every few weeks or something like that until they get that magic number of 50 bucks, 10 bucks, whatever they want to put in that token or that wallet, whatever you want to call it, and then kind of see how it goes from there. I think that'd be kind of fun as well. So we're going to be doing that over the next few days. I finally got my controller to work as well. It's actually plugged in right now and kind of has a little bit of light on it. I was not sure how to plug it into charge. It just seemed like it was kind of a weird little thing, but I got it figured out and I tested out Cyberpunk here. So after this stream, you know, this stream will probably end around 6 o'clock in 1 hour or something like that. Afterwards, I'll probably take an hour break to kind of get everything situated for the next stream. And then I will set up something called Cyberpunk, Crypto, and Politics all in one. And then, you know, we'll be playing Cyberpunk from the beginning here. I got to relearn everything because I tried to play it and I was like, I don't know how to do this, because normally I do use the keyboard and mouse, but it's just a little bit too difficult for me for whatever reason to relearn everything. So why not start from the beginning, nice and easy, and then we can play some Cyberpunk, and then as time goes on, I'll buy other games that we can play while we're talking about everything else. Okay, so let's hop in here. Hey, Boom Boom, Moose, Alec, Digital K, happy to see all of you guys here. Demonetized, they wouldn't actually let me know why I was demonetized, so awesome. But yeah, so I there's nothing I can do about it at this point. I gave them an appeal video. They said I didn't show enough of my channel, but they literally limit your video to 5 minutes long in order for the appeal. So if I went to like 5 minutes 1 second, guess what? I would get denied automatically. They wouldn't even have the opportunity to look at it. And so what I did is I made a longer video, but I kind of condensed it and made it like 1.25% speed, 125% speed. So it kind of like, you know, but not as that. So I don't know. I'll never know. They won't ever tell me. So because they won't ever tell me and I just don't know, I've given up on being monetized. The only thing that really sucks, I would say, as far as demonetization on YouTube, is that they don't like all the members that I had, they're all lost, right? So now there's no more people that like really support the channel. They're here all the time, stuff like that. That whole dynamic is kind of messed up. And I know I had cheap membership options. I think the cheapest one was like 99 cents or something like that, or $1.99. You know, it's stuff like that where I'm just like, okay, fine, YouTube, you're gonna play rough. I'm just not gonna even, I don't know what to do about it. So, right? So because of that, I just kind of gave up on it. I'm deciding, since I got my new computer now, kind of hauling and making a whole bunch of new content for you guys. I was kind of slow on it today because I was getting ready for everything and I just kind of spaced on some stuff. So tomorrow is when you guys get to see more of those videos. I figured out that I actually have to make the videos the night before and have them ready to publish the next day, right? So later on tonight around midnight or 1 o'clock, if I'm still up, well, when I'm still up, yes, I will be up, I will actually make a video that will be posted at 6 a.m. and I'll make another video that's going to be posted around 12 p.m. That way you guys have two different videos talking about specific news. I think the morning video will talk more about politics around the space, and I think the afternoon video will just be going over general news that you guys might want to know, where I'm just talking like this and saying, hey, did you guys check out this bit of news? It was some crazy stuff without a whole bunch of editing. I would say if anything's going to have more editing, it might be the beginning video or the early video, but still waiting to see how that works out. But yeah, I have no idea why I was monetized. They wouldn't tell me, so awesome. Yeah, hey, Charmander, happy to see all of you guys in here today. I'm playing hockey from work, or hooky from work. Hopefully crypto helps me leave it for good. I thought you said hockey. I was like, hockey's been a big thing here lately. Just so you guys can see, Bitcoin is still doing okay. We are seeing a little bit more weakness today. I'm gonna regurgitate something I've been saying over the last week, just so you guys have a clear understanding. We are gonna enter a choppy zone here fairly soon. This choppy zone could, of course, force Bitcoin to go back up and things like that. But I want you guys, if you were able to buy anything over the last like 2 weeks ago when everything was kind of down here, or if something was even down here, you know, if you're seeing some really great profits right now, and again, this is just my own belief system here, I do think it's wise to consider scaling out of at least some of the positions you have. You don't have to scale out 50% or 100% or something like that. I've scaled out about 60 to 70% of my plays here that I bought over the last couple weeks. And that's just because I'm like, damn, I made some good money. I really haven't seen a really good move like that for Bitcoin in a while, other assets in a while. So I just want to lock in those profits because personally, I'm having some large expenses that I had to cover for, right? So like that computer was like $5,000. I bought a whole bunch of stuff for this computer setup that I have, you know, all that type of stuff. I was like, you know what? I need to lock in some bills. So why not just take the money the market gave me and not risk it too much, and then leave the last little 20% to see if it makes me any more money, right? So that's kind of some of the stuff going on in the way I'm perceiving the market right now. But we were talking about some divergence happening on the 4-hour charts yesterday, and you can see that we were coming down bit by bit, bit by bit, well, RSI and MACD actually kind of more in line than I would say that stochastic is, but we're kind of teetering right now. And by teetering, you can see, there we go, that 20 and that 50 on the 4-hour chart. Usually they're pretty accurate. It doesn't mean a catastrophe is coming, but it usually does mean, we're probably looking at a little bit of a downward move here, right? A little bit of a downward move. Sometimes it gets choppy like this. Sometimes we get lucky where we have a breakdown and it doesn't really do much sometimes. But more likely than not, I don't like to see those death crosses happen here. So I'm hoping Bitcoin can at least, when it does start to fall back down here, maybe back down like 92,000, 93,000 bucks. If we can come back down that low, I'm just hoping we can hold up against that support level that we talked about yesterday here, which is basically that yellow line around 90,600, around that level, okay? And then from there, we can bounce around a little bit here, hope for some good news coming out from whatever we can see right now. I think right now we've just kind of had economic data and earnings reports coming out. I would say the earnings reports have been mixed, and probably like Larry was saying last night, they're not going to be too good. So far, they haven't been great. I wouldn't call them terrible, but they have not been great. And we'll talk about that here in a few seconds, just going boom, 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 boom. Kind of all the nastiness going on around there, okay? So, long story short, we got some long-term technicals giving us some good moves. We have some short-term technicals starting to roll over on us, which means I'm expecting some volatility here, which I think will be very, very fun for us to play around with. But I've locked in a few little profits here just to be safe, because I want to, like, you know, pay off some bills basically, right? On top of all that, when we have everything going different ways, for an example here, right? Bitcoin's above the old level of resistance, old level of support, whatever you want to call it there. We're above the 20, things are looking okay. The MACD is turning over, the stochastic is now bullish, the RSI is now bullish. For the medium term here, next few weeks and stuff like that, I think we still are fairly good at making a nice little run. The way I view it though, I'm never 100% convinced until we see that MACD officially have the crossover. Back over here, that means you might have bought a little high because it dipped down a little bit more, or a little late, whatever. But ultimately that move ended up being very, very good. And so when I see that the MACD could easily cross over the next couple of weeks, I'm thinking of a price target of not necessarily a breakout, because we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen before that. I'm waiting to see if we can just get back up here to 100 to 104,000 bucks. If you guys are buying right now in anticipation of a larger move like that, then, you know, then you could be a little bit more willing to kind of let the choppiness play out. But the way I'm viewing this right now, I don't think we have enough good news on top of the technicals to kind of keep us going. even when we do have some of the green technicals, sometimes, you know, we can kind of go up, 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 up. There can still be some choppiness within all that nastiness. Okay, so I'm playing it safe. I'm scaling out of what I bought a couple weeks ago. I'm happy with those returns. I'm deciding that I'm going to see if we can have one more dip so I can kind of buy back into a few different assets here. But I understand that the trend is now changing from this bearish tone back into something a little bit more neutral, with an opportunity to break out sometime in May or June. That June breakout seems more likely unless Jerome Powell really starts to let everybody know, hey, we're going to be cutting rates next month. Get ready. Because that's when Bitcoin, altcoins in general, the stock market, that's when they all kind of start blowing up and having some good moves. There are some differences, but that really goes over to the stock market side of things. Today, there was just a whole bunch of news around stocks. The first one, which I would say is just a light piece of news, Trump complained to Bezos before Amazon said it scrapped the idea to display tariff cost. This would have been, as far as I'm concerned, declaring war on Donald Trump here, just because politics is everywhere. You just saw what Timo did. Timo was doing something very smart, but that was kind of along with the help of the Chinese government. If Amazon were to do that, all of Bezos's contracts that he got from the government for all of his other side businesses, those would have pretty much been halted, and then there would have been a lot of legal lawsuits and stuff like that, sure, but it basically would have been stopped, and that would have been a huge pain in the neck for Jeff Bezos. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. That was crazy. The press secretary, I guess she thought it already happened, but she said this is a hostile and political act by Amazon. She was not, she was throwing punches, basically. Let's just say that, right? Supermicro shares dive after server marker issues, weak preliminary financials. That was bad earnings out of basically. Snap plunges 13% on headwinds to start the quarter. Inability to offer guidance. I don't exactly know how they get their guidance, to be frank. All I know is that around, all of a sudden Snap has been sending me so many notifications that I've just turned off the notifications from Snap, because they had been hounding me to watch random people that I have never cared about before do random shit. If I want to watch random people, I'm gonna watch it on TikTok or something like that. I don't need to do all this other stuff that people are doing. I only need one streaming app. Maybe that's YouTube on top of it if I really need to do something else. But TikTok, YouTube, that's all my brain can have. Otherwise I'm on my phone for like 6-7 hours in a day, and that's not healthy at all. However, I have been known to do that every now and again. My water bottles haven't been large enough, so I got this container that I have. I have 15 containers of these, and I got myself some liquid IV in here. Some great stuff here. I should have taken the ice out so I can actually gulp it down, but you know what? Gulping leads to burping ain't good. Okay, now as far as crypto overall, before we start going into some other technicals, and I'll answer some of you guys' questions there as well, Charmander. Nothing that really has changed, which I think is actually a pretty good thing here. We've kind of balanced out a little bit. You've seen the last 7 days, small movements here, there, but it's showing some good stuff. SUI still seems to be having a good week over week here. Everything else is pretty okay. XMR is doing okay. Monero. We don't talk about Monero, but that's an old token. That's an OG token. Official Trump is still up quite a bit here. Mantle. Mostly everything else is kind of flat here. I see Bonk. So, actually WorldCoin's still up a little bit. Some of these tokens that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. But I think, let me go down this list here very fast. Actually, let's do one thing. Is anything actually up today? Let me see if there's anything up today. Layers up, Monero's up, and that's it. That's it on the top 100. Official Trump is down. There's a lot of stuff that's down, not too much stuff that's up. That should kind of give you the understanding of, hey, things are about to get choppy. Have fun with it. But at the end of the day, if you're not making a profit off this choppiness, you're probably not doing something correct, right? So just keep that into perspective there. I'm going to go over here very fast. And I want to go over to memes. I just want to see if there's any memes popping off the last hour. Not really. Last 24 hours. That market cap is too small. Yeah, market caps are so small, they're probably not going to find them on many exchanges, unfortunately. But I think we're okay. Now, despite Bitcoin kind of getting into this more of a neutral to neutral bullish type of phase in its bull run here, if you want to call it that, I am noticing that a lot of things are behind the curve, right? So Ethereum, you can see a difference here, I'm hoping, right? I think you guys can see a difference. So altcoins are just definitely not in that same spot. So for next cycle, just keep in the back of your mind, it doesn't hurt to just buy some Bitcoin. I know a lot of people go heavy into altcoins because they typically do bring in some great returns when everything starts to move, but Bitcoin is kind of tried and true steady, and it does make you some good money, which is why a lot of the institutions are buying into that, and that's not necessarily going heavy into Ethereum and things like that. Although one could say they're starting to go heavy into Ethereum and so on. It's just taking a little bit of their time, just a little bit of their time right there. Okay, so packing this out to monthly charts just so you guys can see. Ethereum is at a pretty nice low, so if you guys wanted to buy at a solid support and see if we can have a bounce up next month, which I do think is possible only because of the rate cuts coming pretty soon. I think if we go over here to the CME rate cuts probability, there we go, and I go over here to probabilities, and I go to this one, you zoom in just a tad, get rid of that crapola, zoom in a little bit more. There you go. All right, you can see that for this month, next month, May 7th, we're gonna stay where we are, no cuts. We go over here to the 18th of June, right? That's when we start talking about a big old rate cut. At least the majority of people say we're gonna have a rate cut at that point. 5% say we're gonna have a 50 basis point cut. That's kind of more of a panic cut, if I'm being honest. I don't think we're gonna have that, but I do think we're gonna have one cut here. And you can see right here, 35% say we're not gonna cut again in June. But the majority, not a strong majority, but I would say 65%, that's a strong majority, yeah. 65% say we're gonna have at least some type of cut in June. So May could just be kind of holding support, and then June really starts to get back up here where we're bouncing a little bit more. So if you guys have it with your favorite tokens, kind of have an understanding of what's going on right now. One of the reasons this Bitcoin chart looks so kind of funky right now is because this monthly chart, look at this, you know, we're grinding. Usually when we have these moves, how often do we have a move like this? We kind of make an all-time high. This is like a multi-month thing. Crashed afterwards. This one was coming down more. We don't really have these types of times where Bitcoin comes down so much and has this big reversal. And maybe that's just because we didn't really have this tariff war going on, the Russia war going on into like such a degree. I think the Russian war, Russian war's been happening since like 2014, something like that. Bitcoin, you know, it's been around for a minute, but I think it's probably more with the tariffs and what's going on with China. But yeah, so I'm curious to see how this is going to try to boost back up. A fear of mine is that somehow this ends up being something more of a double top, but at least at this point we are seeing some good moves. I do like what I see here. We really don't have to look for moving averages and crossovers on the monthly chart, obviously, because by the time they happen, it's pretty much over. But as far as MACDs and stuff coming along here, stochastics and stuff, we are kind of at a high point here. So I do think Bitcoin is going to need to keep on being juiced up here, which is why I'm kind of talking about these rate cuts here. Because if we don't get those by the end of the summer, again, probably July, September, August, things like that. I would say August, September, we need to have maybe 2 rate cuts by then to make sure Bitcoin is going higher and higher and higher. Because most likely by the time we get into 2026, that'll probably end up being our next crypto winter where everything starts to go back down here. It may come earlier, but I don't think that's going to happen if, like, again, Trump puts all those tariffs back on, everything starts to crumble again, people start to panic again, that type of stuff. And I don't see us back in that space just yet. Okay. But long story short, these next few weeks, they should generally be okay. But it's going to be that choppiness that's going to spook a lot of people before we get to that okay spot. Remember, the beginning of April was just atrocious, but eventually we had a very strong finish. Things like that happen a lot, and I expect something similar to happen this month, especially because we're not having any more rate cuts anytime soon, right? Also, May 7th is right around the corner. You know what? Cinco de Mayo is coming up here as well. Oh, that's a 4-hour chart. Let's go to the daily chart. There we go. Cinco de Mayo is coming up. That's going to be on a Monday. Oh, that's going to be brutal. But if you guys celebrate Cinco de Mayo, it'll be a perfect day to watch Bitcoin and drink some margaritas. All right. So we are coming up pretty close. There we go. We are coming up pretty close to the FOMC meeting. That should be a pretty big one. We still are in a spot where we have the opportunity to have a nice little run and try to come back up here towards $100,000, $104,000. But I'm gonna wait to see what he has to say. As far as I see right now, I don't think Bitcoin's in a lot of trouble, but I do think we need to have a subtle drop back down here before making more of an attempt to go higher. We really need to have some type of good news to really push us up. The futures right now are more mixed. The Dow's up, the Nasdaq's down, the SPY's down, so that's not the best news here. And I think earnings have also been hitting us a little bit here today as well. Let me see if I can find anything else. My strategy. Let's see. Oh, that reminds me. I just saw something here. Lutnick says one trade deal is done, but waiting for an approval from unnamed country leaders. Okay. This is also something that can get Bitcoin back to the moon fairly easily. They've been taking a long time with this, and so I'm hoping they can get it done. But like, we really haven't had any announcements about tariffs being lifted, things like that. If we can get that figured out, I'd be very, 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 very happy, because that kind of reduces the need for tariffs. That gives the businesses a lot of clarity about what they need to do, which stops all the panic and stuff like that. That panic really gets people to sell all of their assets for some reason. Why, I don't know, but the panic usually does it here. Okay, but again, I'm still holding that last 20% because I believe Bitcoin can still go higher, but I need to lock in some profits, and there's still that chance short term that Bitcoin does decide to fall down. You can use a 4-hour chart or a 2-hour chart, heck, even a 1-hour chart if you wanted to. I still didn't bring my mouse pad down, so forgive me for that here today, but all right. Basically what we're looking at right here. Most of you guys should feel comfortable to hold. Some of you guys are waiting for a breakout. Some of you guys are waiting, well, everybody's waiting for a breakout. It just depends if it's a bullish one or a bearish one. Whichever one happens first, you guys should be able to kind of have fun and take the trade. Just understand those longer term trends are still getting to be bullish, I would say, right now. So you guys might not want to hold so long for that. If we break down right here, you probably don't need to hold on for so long. So just be aware of that. That pattern maybe opens up your eyes a little bit to what we have coming right now. I should have there you go. Looks a little bit better when you don't have those long lines. That's the way I like them, but for whatever reason, when I add all that stuff on there, every time I have to reverse it. They need to have a line on TradingView, which is just a line from point A to point B. And they need to have a separate line where it's like line right extended and line left extended and things like that. Like this one, extend right line. See, this is what I need. Point A to point B. And I'll actually, how about I go over to the 1-hour chart, magnet, just eyeball the next part here. Or I could, oh no, I can't. I just damn thing. There we go. Little magnet right there. Generally speaking, that's kind of, yeah, kind of like that. So you can kind of see where we're at. If we're lucky, we'll be able to have a breakout. There seems to be a lot of pressure in the short term right now. They're trying to get us back down a little bit for some reason. Ultimately, I'm not too concerned about this, but I just think, again, the choppiness that we've been talking about, it's going to punish some people here. And you could actually try to time this, which will be pretty fun, with market sessions. Right. Kind of got close to that resistance today. Before New York time, we actually managed to get up close there. That's Saturday, that's Sunday, so it doesn't matter for us. That's Monday right here. Geez, Monday we took a little bit of beating Tokyo time. Okay. Yeah, we may have the volatility to maybe get back up here towards 95 to be 94.7 or so. Okay, back up a little bit here over to the 4-hour chart. Push that over a little bit more. Back over here. Got up Loki, but I really got to remember to bring that mouse pad down. I don't know why I thought I could actually do a stream without having a proper mouse pad. It looks okay, but there's like subtle glitches that my mind realizes what's happening right now. Like that, whatever that was. I just need to go slow, I guess. Slow. Yeah, all right, that's gonna drive me nuts for a little bit. But that's my own lack of discipline right there. Okay, so what are you guys talking about there? You grew up in Northeast Philly, Rebellion, Redian, and Boulevard? Oh, so probably hockey. Do I think Bitcoin reaches all-time high during this cycle? I would say we're still in the same cycle we were in, starting off like, you know, at the beginning of 2024, end of 2023. But if you're talking about this move that we're seeing right now, it depends what we mean by cycle. But I do think we're going to hit all-time highs this year for sure. I expect us to hit all-time highs for sure by midsummer, because that's when the rate cuts kick in. I think that's the thing that's going to be very good for us. I think that Jerome Powell will be forced to cut even if he doesn't want to, and that's because the economy is slowing down. And again, this isn't a Biden or Trump or Jerome Powell type of issue completely. The economy is slowing down because interest rates are high. This is what Jerome Powell wants. So Trump can pass his policies, he can do his tax cuts. Biden can juice up the economy with the Infrastructure Act and things like that. Jerome Powell is still slowing down the economy. And so a lot of this is still in Jerome Powell's hands. And while he's doing his job to kind of keep prices at a pretty stable level, trying to attain that goal of 2% inflation, at the end of the day, he is the one that kind of gets us out of this crisis. Trump can do short-term stuff. Biden did short-term stuff, right? It's not enough. So we're basically on hold until Jerome Powell starts to signal that he wants to start cutting rates. And then when he signals that, oh boy, we're going to be in a land of gravy money and things like that for like a few weeks or so. Remember, when these altcoins blast off, they don't really blast off for long. And look how oversold Ethereum is compared to Bitcoin. That is just insane. You know, this was about a month of blasting off. This was about a month and a half of blasting off. That was a week of blasting off. That was maybe 2-3 weeks of blasting off. 3 weeks of blasting off. That one over here was 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks before we started consolidating. So these moves only really last for a month before we start going, oh shit, you know, it's time to start selling or scaling out. Now sometimes we can keep on going higher and higher and higher. But honestly, how has that been going for us? It has not been going good for us, that cycle. Dogecoin, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks before we started to stagnate here. This one over here was 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week. You know, not that great, right? Trump token, well, we had it, you know, 1 week. 1 week. Miro, when it was popping off a while ago, this isn't a good chart. 1 week, 1 week, maybe 3 weeks if you want to call that, maybe 2 weeks. So just remember, when we have these moves, it's going to be short unless we get into a full-on altcoin season. But even a full-on altcoin season, like a Dogecoin here or something like that, you know, that was 3 weeks before we had the consolidation. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe if you want to call that, 2-3 weeks, and then we kind of fell off a cliff. Again, these moves happen so fast that you kind of want to have your spot positions open, ready to go with these low market cap options. And then as everything rises, you slowly start to scale out over and over and over again. But you know that every time you scale up, you know, scale out, like after a couple weeks of everything going really good for you, you may have to wait a little bit of time, and that stop loss is going to be very low because you still want to milk that, right? You don't have to scale out 50% right here and 10% right here, whatever, like that, you know. You can scale out 10% here, 15% here, wait a little bit of time, like, oh, it's going down. Scale another 10% right here just to be safe. Oh, it's booming. I'll scale out in 20% right here, maybe 10% right here. Oh, it's going down. I'll have my stop loss right here. Maybe your stop loss doesn't even hit until way over here. You know what I mean? There's tons of ways of going about it. But right now, you know, these moves don't last too long. I want to really etch that into your souls here as we wait for these golden opportunities that are going to come a little bit later. Even bonk right here, 1 week. That was 3 weeks. I guess that was the start of it. That's 1 week. That was maybe 3 weeks right there. Maybe 2 weeks right there. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 1 week. 2 weeks that we're kind of going in right now. They don't usually last that long, which means if you're just going in for in and out nice moves, you guys can just expect a lot of this stuff to happen within 1 to 2 weeks. So maybe your spot positions you scale out a little bit more neatly, and maybe you just have some nice wild complete swing trades during those moments in time where you guys are, what's the best way to think about that? Probably using some leverage of between 5 to 10x probably during those moves. I know a couple of you guys trade quite a bit with high leverage. Some of you guys trade some large capital that follow me. You guys got a lot of different options there in totality. Just remember, it doesn't take too long for some of these rallies to really get going. I mean, let me even check out something like an ADA here. 1, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. This one was 1, 2, 3 before consolidation. That one kind of led off to 1, 2 weeks. 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 if you want to go up there. 3, 4 weeks here. That's a lot of choppiness, but you can see maybe a month for that one. So again, most tokens here, they're not going to be doing the same things, right? This was a few weeks, 1 week, a few weeks so far. These nice moves that we have, they don't typically last all too much. So we really need to see something of a larger boom. Now this is Ape token. This has been something that's been very funky for a time, but you know, even XRP, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. This was something very special, as you guys know. We've been breaking down below that support level for a minute here. 3 weeks, maybe a month, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe a month, a week. You know, this is going all the way back to 2018. So it's gonna be fun to play around with. But this market is just so freaking weird compared to the other ones we've had to we've experienced so far. There we go. So give it some time. You guys have plenty of opportunities. Hey man, it's looking we're going down again. Short term, possibly short term. I'm waiting to see if we have that official breakdown here. But those 4-hour charts, they're trying to turn around. It's not doing a good job. Stochastic is giving me a little bit of concern here. Same with the RSI with that bearish divergence. Short term does look like a little bit more bearish. Medium term, I think we can hold on. Hoping, right? Oh, and hey, Miss Tinker, happy birthday, man. To you, 36, man. You're gonna have a fun time out there tonight. This is what, a Wednesday? No, Tuesday. I don't know many bars in Philadelphia. I've been to a few of them, but they were kind of too uppity for me because they were for like a wedding event. I like the grunge bars personally. Go out there and have yourself a real nice night, man. I appreciate you watching on your birthday, especially. If you have a token that you'd want me to look at, let me know. And hey Mo, happy to see you as well. And you guys, if you can, please make sure to like the video. I don't know what it takes for people to like the video. I don't know, but if you guys can like it, it helps me out a lot. Just let YouTube know that people are actually watching the stream. Helps to get more viewers, gets me more entertained. The more you guys comment, the more I engage with you guys. It's just kind of a way of like, oh, I can bounce off of you guys, you know? Makes it feel real nice. September new highs. I mean, I think anything's possible after June. We really just need to start these rate cuts up again. When we start those rate cuts, a lot of stuff changes, right? So, there was a Fed meeting back in September from 17th to 18th, right? And let's just go over this one so exactly what's happening. So you see back over here, 17th, 18th right there. You can see for the short term after that announcement, we went higher, right? Excuse me. 1 day, 2 days, like a couple weeks, we went higher. Then we went down a little bit more, but ultimately we had those higher lows and kind of had that blast off moment when Trump became president. But that was just a catalyst to see things moving up a lot higher. Everybody and their mom was in crypto was banking on Trump winning to get crypto to move again. Not necessarily because they might have liked Trump, but liked Biden, or didn't like Biden, didn't like Trump, whatever. Everybody kind of just wanted Gary Gensler to be kind of out of the SEC, and now he's like, what is Gary Gensler doing right now? What's he doing right now? What's he doing? What's he doing? Tesla and Twitter. Let's see. What does he do now? I don't think he does anything. Political party, Democratic spouse. It doesn't say what he's doing right now. Well, let's go over here very fast. Let's see. Here we go, MIT. It's a professor of the practice of global economics and management, as well as the finance at the MIT Sloan School of Management. Maybe that's what he's doing? This could be older. They said he was doing this before he became Frugal. But yeah, so maybe he's doing this now. Who knows? But he's not there fucking with crypto. You know what I mean? He's left it alone. But point being, it did take a little bit of time before we started to see that big boom from the rate cuts. So if we have that meeting that happens sometime in meeting calendar 17th through the 18th, so that means the 18th June. Daily chart. Where did I slide? There we go. Right. It's still going to take us a while before we ramp up. Now, we could be here when we have the news, right? And it goes higher. We could be here when we have the news and it goes higher. Whatever. The point being, it's not just going to be rate cuts then boom. It'll take some time. But for the next few days after the rate cut comes in again in June, we'll start going up a little bit higher. Which is why ultimately I'm not too concerned right now, because we do have some tools to get the market juiced up. But the longer Jerome Powell takes, the more damage is done to the overall economy. So, you know, as a lot of us are, we're kind of just afraid people are going to start losing their jobs and things like that. But I think, you know, as I've kind of been watching Fox Business and Bloomberg and CNBC, I've, you know, heard some arguments articulated pretty well as why we're not seeing massive layoffs. And part of that is when they did have massive layoffs during COVID, there was a whole bunch of people to hire. So people basically said, hey, which one of you guys is going to pay me the most money? So there was a bidding war from companies to get the best talent, right? And then all of a sudden, this guy was working for this company for 6 months. Company B over here says, hey, I'm going to offer you a 10% raise plus another $40,000 in stock options if you come over here. And if you have any fees or anything for leaving your company, we'll pay those off too. They do that. So the cost of labor got higher and higher and higher, which of course made the products more and more expensive, which means that every day people had to pay more and more and more for stuff, generally speaking, right? That's why you saw a lot of people not wanting to go be a dishwasher because it's a horrible job, or go be a cook because they didn't want to be a cook for whatever reason, right? I like cooking, but I can't be on my feet all that time, right? Some of you guys can. But yeah, so things like that were happening. They don't want to see that happen again, so they're holding on to their workers just a little bit more than they otherwise would have in the past, which I think ultimately is a very good thing. So that inflation kind of shocked the system into not laying everybody off right away. funny enough, right? Back over here, back to the 1 hour. I mean, Bitcoin's bouncing off a little bit. It's still ultimately a little bit more choppy since we broke down, but you know, we might have an opportunity for some of you guys that want to day trade here, maybe short pretty soon. Now we still have a little bit of time before it starts to hit some of those levels of resistance, but there we are. Okay. Hi from sunny 82-degree Vegas. There we go. Hey Vegas Nick, I will be in Vegas at the end of May, so if you want to hang out, let me know. I know I'm going to say hi to CT, I believe, down there. Let's see. Stock symbol XXRP, 2x leverage play. Where do you see support and resistance? Is that a cryptocurrency? I mean, it sounds like it, but sometimes I just don't know. XXRP. No, okay, it's actually all. Listen, funds, trust. I can't pronounce that word. Okay. Oh, it's XP ETF. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay, that's just very new then. Okay, okay. Support right now looks to be around 31.49 here. Strong support seems to be around 28.70. When I see something like this following XRP, then unless this isn't like a following cryptocurrency or something like that, typically what I'll do is I'll just trade it along with the technicals of XRP, right? So you see the one order block down here around $32, the other one over here around $28. You can see the breakdown that's about to occur here as well. Yeah, I'd probably say something more realistic is going to be around $29, $29.95, which is basically 30 bucks right here. I'd be buying up basically in between these two order blocks or this zone right over here, and that'd be maybe an entry position into a longer hold here for XRP. It has been doing well, you know, sort of at 23 bucks basically, or what, 27 bucks when as far down as 22, went up as high as 38. So this thing is still nice. It's just slowly climbing right now. You are seeing a little bit that the bearishness creep in here, so just be careful if it does break down later on today. Today's candle, if you will, with this type of stock here. But you know, there's one around $32. I don't know if that's necessarily going to hold. I would expect something more like $29 to hold because we don't have as much data as we'd like right now. Maybe 1 hour will give me some data. Not much I can get there. You see a little bit of divergence happening here, but that's not a lot. Get bought on the stochastic, that's usually a pretty good sign to get out. Let's go over here to Bitcoin. There we go. Yeah, Bitcoin 15 seems to be holding up okay. Hey, K plugs need to learn. Lots of stuff to learn. Lots of stuff. And resistance Vegas would just be the all-time highs that we've just seen right there. There's not much data there unless it was the wrong ticker. Let's see. Oh, the thing's elegantly wasted. I like the name. XXRP is a stock ETF that is 2x leverage. Or XP already has half ETF. Oh, geez, yeah. Stash looks surprisingly good. Professional. What do you call it? This stash is not going to last long. I'm already starting to grow my hair out a little bit. You guys can't hear it maybe. I forgot I have music playing. But no, you guys can't hear it. Fine. Yeah, I got a little bit of hair growing. It'll take a minute, probably a week or so, but it'll be back. And then I'm going to not shave off my mustache because I like to have a mustache with a beard. Mustache no beard would be kind of funky, wouldn't that be? And then what I'm gonna do is shave off my beard in June. Not beard. I shave off my hair in June, and then let my scalp breathe for a little bit, and then I'll be fine with everything grown back, all hairy and whatnot. But yeah, so it's gonna take a little bit of time for all that stuff to blow over. But yeah, mustache. Call me Jorge. You know what I mean? And hey, damn crypto, happy to see my man. What are the chances Bitcoin breaks down and retests 80Ks? 80Ks, yeah, 80s. I'd say about 35-40% right now. We don't have the weekly charts locked in for a bullish move just yet, and until that happens, I'm usually again skeptical. Which is why I'm saying to you guys, I'm actually scaling out large quantities of my holdings that I bought a few weeks ago, because I'm not entirely sold on the fact that we're going to go straight up from here, right? I think we can definitely go higher. I definitely think we'll probably go up towards the $100,000 range. I don't think going above that Fibonacci level right here to go to all-time crazy highs and stuff like that. But I need to see those weekly charts lock in. We got 2 out of 3 as far as the MACDs. The stochastic, I don't even know if the stochastic even, not stochastic, I don't even know if the change of character actually went into bearish mode here. No, it never went to bearish mode. So yeah, I mean, I would have said change of character right there, but that's me. On the daily charts here, it did go back to being bullish though, which is kind of a nice signal here. Boom, breakout, big move afterwards, consolidating. So we're, generally speaking, we're still fine. But I'd still give it a good solid 40% chance. It's more than you would think, right? I don't think Trump is going to do anything crazy the next few weeks, but don't hold me to it. So we'll see. What if Trump tweets during the FOMC meeting about not getting rate cuts or something? I don't know. That'll be a little bit of a woo moment, right? Oh God, I don't know why, guys. Well, I know why. I've been outside so much lately playing with Loki since I got this new fence in. I feel so much better about playing with him in and out. There's been a whole bunch of random kids in my neighborhood lately, and they've been like wandering into my front yard and shit. I'm like, who the fuck are you guys? Like, excuse me, this is my private property. I have a dog that plays here, whatever. Like, don't, you know. My dog doesn't growl at kids, but he doesn't necessarily like kids. Because kids come up to in groups, so he'll hide behind me and then he'll start to growl. But if it's one kid, like the neighbor's kid, he'll like trot over and he'll sit down while she pets him and stuff, or they'll play fetch and stuff like that. But like he knows her and her sister, or the other kids that live down the block, or the Hawaiian kids that live down the block. Does not know the random Russian kids from like a few blocks away. Does not know those guys, and he's already growling at them. Right? Again, not just like, oh, they're close to the street or something like that, they're growling. Now it's more like, hey, they tried to like all bomb rush him a couple months ago. And I was like, hey, like, leave my dog alone. He don't want to be pet by you, right? But they see like a white German Shepherd, like, oh my God, it's like a husky. And I'm like, no, it's not, it's a German Shepherd. So because I got that fence put in there, it's a lovely fence. Now he gets to play outside all the time. Now Loki, he's always wanting to play a little bit more. Tip in his step because he's outside the whole time. You can see Loki right here. Oh my God, where'd Loki go? There Loki. Oh, you sugar boy. You sugar boy. You sugar boy, yeah. So yeah, he gets a lot of pampering time right now. And you can still see it's like pretty sunny right now. I don't have my sunglasses, but I don't need them because the sun's not pointing that way at me. Oddly enough, it was actually really windy. Really windy today. But I'm taking the night off to do a whole bunch of nothing with you guys, so that'll be fun. By nothing, I mean cyberpunk, politics, and crypto. So get ready for that. Hey, damn crypto! Think we're going to 85,000 bucks? What do you call? I'm hoping we don't, but we still have time because we still have to make up room for that golden cross to come over here between the 50 and the 200. You got that Cuban Latin look going on? What do you call? I should smoke up one of my Cuban cigars. I only have like maybe 10 to 15 Cuban cigars left, but they're all my expensive ones because I smoked all my cheap ones. And I don't want to be rolling around smoking like $80 cigars and stuff like that. I'm not smoking cigars today because I don't smoke on Tuesdays, but maybe I'll smoke with you guys tomorrow or something like that. Do I have a class available? I have no class, but I am working on a course. I'm like actively working on a course. I just started up a few days ago. The PowerPoint behind it, but it'll take a few more months. With this new computer, I can actually get like humming down on it, which is absolutely fantastic here. It's a grind and it makes my head hurt, honestly, to work on it, but it looks good. It, you know, with how long everything's gonna be, it works very, very well. And what happened to Canada last night? Well, we are screwed now with Carney Libs back in. The one thing that was hilarious, I don't know much about Canadian politics. I know nothing about it. Got a message? No, okay. Um, they said that liberal guy in Canada looks like Mr. Burns. Let me see if I can find it for you guys here. This is Michael Saylor teaching me Bitcoin. I don't like how there's fish in there. They're freaking disgusting. Let me go over here very fast. Let me see if I can find the video. Let's see. Why do I see my brain forget stuff as soon as it goes to my brain? Oh, Carney. Burns. Well, here's one of them. Right, Carney and Mr. Burns. I have no idea how the politics is gonna work, basically. But yeah, basically, he does remind me of Mr. Burns. Apparently, he was in finance back in the day. We'll see what happens with Mark Carney here. I don't really understand how Canadian politics works at all, to be frank. But I guess more people I know in Washington, not Washington, the people I know in Canada are more conservative. So they were really hoping for Pierre is his name or something like that. And I think Pierre lost badly, as far as I saw. So it's going to be a crazy time for Canada. And this will make it more hostile between Canada and the United States, which will make this very, very interesting because Trump can really, like, so Trump has been going after Mexico and Canada. Those were the kind of the first two countries he was dealing with. Mexico took the right approach and kind of stroked Trump's ego and was like, okay, let's give him some things here. We're going to work this out. When he puts tariffs on us, we're not going to retaliate. We're going to keep it really simple. We're just going to make sure we're okay. We don't need to be great. We should be okay during this time, right? Canada went full on, oh my God, how could you? We're going to take away all your power. We're going to make your cities black out. We're not going to give you any oil or energy. You're going to rue this day. Let's throw away all the American whiskey. I mean, they went freaking hard, right? Hard. So, Trump, of course, his ire, his anger is obviously pointed more towards Canada right now. So over the next like few quarters and things like this, as all this stuff kind of figures itself out, and they have a liberal prime minister, he is going to change a lot of rules to hurt Canada, and while letting Mexico kind of slide, if you will. So, almost in fact, I almost wonder, just out of spite, if Trump will try to get American corporations to move a lot of their logistics, their manufacturing from Canada over to Mexico. He may do it unintentionally. I don't think Trump is going to move as many jobs as he thinks back to the United States, but that's okay. There'll be new manufacturing jobs. He doesn't have to bring back car manufacturing. He can have chip manufacturing. He still has money from Biden's CHIP Act and stuff like that. Put some of that money there. I know Trump doesn't like green energy, but put some of that money somewhere else. To give it to Tesla, give it to maybe a car startup that's actually trying to make cheap vehicles. You know what I mean? Like, you can invest that money to get people into work and things like that. But maybe that means that they're going to be having a factory in Texas, and maybe half the factory is like one part of the factory is in Mexico, one part of the factory is in Texas. Different wages, different work, different things like that. You never know. It's going to be stressful for Canada the next few years, though. That's for sure. Yes, you got Worth Burns. He was installed. I mean, hey guys, Canada's kind of funky. I don't understand Canadian politics, but I don't understand from the people I've talked to in Canada, which I guess they're both left and right, but I don't think I've really met too many like liberal Canadians. Like Seattle has very liberal people. I know Schumer Canadians. I don't know AOC. It's me. I know Schumer Democrats. Schumer liberals. I don't know AOC liberals in Canada. That's a better way to put it, right? I don't know how Canada's going to do, but I just don't think it's going to be good for them at all. I think he does have, the guy is obviously smart, right? The guy that's going to be the president, but it's going to be brutal. The battle that's going to happen now, because we're going to go back and forth. Canada's definitely going to feel the pain there. And Canada, for whatever reason, doesn't want to build more houses. Just like, Washington State is building a lot more houses, which I think is pretty good. But yeah, things are definitely in a kind of a weird spot here as far as global relations and how everybody views us. Remember, there used to be that historic photo, Trump and EU. I forget. Oh, see, I'm not gonna pay for the New York Times historic photo. I can find it here. Give me a second. Nope. I just saw it. Oh, this hurts my soul. Well, let's see. There we go. Open image, a new tab. Basically, like Shinzo Abe, Trump, boom, you know, back and forth. Trump's like, that's kind of the mood Trump's in part two, but you don't have Shinzo Abe anymore because Shinzo, you know, he got assassinated. Shinzo, man, something about that Japanese culture of respect and things like that and honor really touches like in my heart or something like that. Then you got this guy over here. I forgot his name, but he got kicked out because he and Trump don't see eye to eye in foreign policy, which fine, you know, if we don't see eye to eye, kick the guy out. But I think he goes on CNN nowadays or something like that. But yeah, talk about power display. Like they're like, you cannot do this. He's like, watch me. It's probably something as simple as that. But those photos were absolutely insane. Surprised that wasn't the recent one. JD Vance and stuff like that. Trump black and white with his dad. Damn. See, we need to get some young blood in there. I guess JD Vance is the young blood for the Republican Party, right? Because you got Mitch McConnell. He had to retire, semi-retire, because he's like bad shape. Biden got defeated, or Biden left. Yeah, who's? I think AOC is the leader, maybe, of the Democratic Party right now. I don't know. This will be stuff to talk about while we're playing Cyberpunk and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know who the leader of the Democratic Party is right now. But yeah, Bolton. There you go, Bolton. That was the guy. Oh god, yeah, that guy was freaking weird. I remember I was watching his segment on CNN. It was a CNN segment on X, on Twitter, and it was like Bolton talking to one of the journalists there, and he had just let it slip that he was responsible for a bunch of regime changes. and the reporter didn't even bother to follow up on it, and I was like, of course you didn't bother to follow up on that when he let it slip. Things like that drive me nuts. But yeah, that Bolton guy, he's been in the murky side of American power, right? Turbo's up a few percent here. I don't know what to do with my Turbo, to be honest. I only have a little bit of it left. It had a nice rally, and I only bought it because one of you guys told me about it again, and I was like, oh yeah, I do love Turbo. Now, I've held Turbo for a while as far as a long-term asset, and when I'm talking about my spot positions, right now I'm like barely profitable on it, but for the stuff I bought over here, it's just because one of you guys told me about it. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. That token's great because it's a mix of AI and meme coin, and AI is having a little bit of a nice solid move right now. Let's see if we can get anything higher out of that. It worked out very, very well. But Turbo right now hit that resistance, getting flattened back down a little bit more here. There we go. Bitcoin's consolidating. Bitcoin's gonna have to break out sometime tomorrow. I mean, this is Tuesday. Okay, this is Wednesday. Yeah, it's gonna have to break out soon. And hey, Bill Showtime, happy to see my man. TRX moves nice too. Yeah, TRX is something I don't necessarily trade, but it is something where I just love to hold on to it and kind of let it rumble here. It's the daily chart. Look at that. Everything else has been having crazy bad moves. Tron is a chugger. It almost reminds me of Workhorse way back in the day. I don't know if any of you guys ever remember Workhorse. Was it Workhorse? Workhorse was a stock back in the day. Oh, I forget. There was a stock back in the day that all it was doing for like 2 years straight was just going up 5% a week, 5% a week, It was absolutely insane. I really wish I knew which one it was. Workhorse was a meme stock, I believe. This workforce. This is more of a thing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Meme thing is exactly correct here. Holy crap. What happened? I guess. Jesus. Oh, let me go over here very fast. Finbiz stock screener. We'll file this up very fast. Let's go over here to screener. I'm not even logged in because I got a computer. That's okay. Open this up a little bit. Let's get those ads smack dab in our face. Let's go over to all. You know what? This new computer, I'm running this software perfectly fine. Before, it was being very choppy and whatnot. I wonder if I go to Task Manager. Now I'm only using 31% of my memory. That's pretty darn good. 6% of my CPU. All right, so we're gonna go to sector. We're gonna go to country, USA. We can stay with all the rest of the markets. Market cap, we just want to be large, over $10 billion. 20 moving average. Let's have it crossed above 50. Crossed above 50, and then let's see if we want to. Price is gonna be over $10, so it's not like anything really cheap. In fact, it should be over like, no, $10 is good enough for what we're looking for here. Anything else I want to do? IPO now. Fine here. Positive dividend. Yeah, for only 14. The death cross and a positive dividend yield. The 20s above. Yeah, wow. There's not really many things here in the markets. Domino's Pizza's having a resurgence. How the frick is that happening? They must be having some specials. Specialty industry machinery. Interesting. That's having a move. LMT Aerospace. Oh, Lockheed Martin, of course. Lockheed Martin. As soon as Donald Trump was elected president, Lockheed Martin started to crumble. Let that be a lesson. The military-industrial complex is not like Trump, at least for the moment. Martin Materials. Power. Okay. There's not really many good things here. Maybe take this off here. Now we'll go to 465. Yeah, wow. Maybe I should not go off. Maybe I should just go off quarterly highs. Performance. Quarter up. 165. There we go. Jesus, ABB. So it goes from 170 all the way up to 220 just to get demolished back down. Is there anything that actually looks solid? Look at the volatility from tariffs on every freaking stock and asset out here. Cardinal Health, I'd be buying some of that. Out of all the stuff we're looking at, Cardinal Health is like the one that's good. Now it is healthcare here. Dividends 1.46%. That's not bad. Upgrade. Oh, nice. Sound like a motherfucker, but that was all the way back in 2024. Not bad. Insider trading, yeah, not bad at all. I'll have to keep an eye on this one. This could be a long-term play there. Workhorse, on the other hand, now if you want to do some puts, maybe that'll make you some money. I do not know the liquidity for those puts, though. It's probably not going to be as good as you want it to be. Looks like lunacy, yeah. So I got LUNC, Lunk. Is that what we're gonna call it, Lunk? Luna. Then I think of Luna, then the C version of Luna. Right. Pizza sales increasing during recession, especially frozen pizza. Oh yeah, I remember when I was younger and I didn't have much money. This is back when like frozen pizza was affordable. They used to have Tostino's pizza. Tostino's pizza, I think is what it's called. It was this fantastic pizza that like, let's see. Totino's? I think it was Totino's pizza. Yeah, these things. Oh, I should just. There you go, above my head. Now, I guess they go for $2.50 now. They used to go for a freaking $1. And I was like, yeah, let me get one of these. And then I would basically put some cayenne pepper on top of it, some Parmesan cheese on top of it, like the the dried one, like in the craft thing. I'm not paying for real Parmesan cheese. And that'd be it. You could just have that, and then you can make yourself like some steamed broccoli or something. Quite a great dinner right there. Now I think everybody is forced to get ramen, but even ramen is I think even ramen is getting more expensive for everybody nowadays. Target has Target has them for 35 cents. Wow, that's actually surprising. I thought ramen was getting more. I get this Shin ramen. Let's see, Shin ramen bone broth. Shin ramen black, yeah. I like how there's a Reddit about it. This stuff, Walmart. Oh, comes with a family pack of 4 packs for $7, so it's like $2 a pack. That's not terrible. But yeah, stuff is amazing. There is no mushrooms. There's no nothing like that inside of it. You can buy it though at Paldo World. Paldo World, place by where I live, kinda. Paldo World inside. If you guys ever want to be cheap and eat good food, go to the Asian markets. I cannot stress how amazing they are. And when I was down on my luck with money, like even if I had a good job, like I saw the crazy expensive apartments, car, you know, do all that type of stuff, I just wanted to chill out, I'd go to this place right here. Right? See how it has like a weird little grocery section, carts and stuff like that. There's a bakery right there that has some really good stuff. I had them make my sister's cake one time. I've spent hundreds of dollars on my sister's cake. You want some Asian drinks? There you go. Like literally every weird little Asian drink you can imagine, they have it here. They even have regular stuff like C4 and whatnot, but they have all this random stuff I have no idea. But they have these big bottles of like juice. It's like water juice mix, but they have these little lychee jellies inside of it that are to die for. But they happen to be like $7 a bottle, so I'm just like, I'm sparingly on it, right? Bakery, but yeah, I'm trying to just see a regular freaking aisle, but it's not giving me a regular freaking aisle. I guess nobody ever takes pictures of just a random aisle, do they? Right? They have whatever these things are, whatever those are, like turnips or something like that. You know, cabbage, the beans. They literally have a restaurant in here. All they do is they sell the sides for dinner, right? Not the duck or the main dish, but they sell the sides to have a complete dinner, right? So, cannot recommend these spots enough. A lot of you guys will have them. Some other people have stuff like H Mart and things like that. There you go, H Mart Tacoma, right? All these crazy drinks, Korean sales. They can chop up meat for you for hot pots and stuff like that, which is just water and some seasoning inside there. Basically, just tossing some meat, which isn't that expensive. Yeah, cannot stress. It's good to go outside of your typical pizza thing, right? There's I don't know how much it would cost to get a pizza nowadays. I feel like it's like pizzas are incredibly expensive. Like, let me go over here very fast. Choose 2 or more upgraded Parmesan stuffed crust for $4 more per pizza. Jesus, $4 more per person just for some fucking stuffed crust. You'd probably have to go up and pick up that stuff. That stuff's expensive. Let's see. Now, I just want a specialty pizza. A Meatzilla. Meatzilla, yeah. I'm gonna carry out. And I'm gonna do 98444. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I don't want to do both. I don't freak it out. Car side delivery, store pickup. No. Didn't even tell me how much it was gonna cost. A 14-inch pizza is $22. 14 inch, that's not the big pizzas of old, right? My God. Yeah, that's scary. That's terrifying to me. That's inflation. You know why I don't care about inflation? Because I'm not spending all this money on stuff where the prices have gone up. I go to Costco. That's where I'm starting to see the good stuff right here. Costco, get all the stuff I need from there. Maybe if I want some pizza, I get myself a nice cheap slice of Costco pizza. Or if you go in the afternoon and you really want pizza, they be selling pizza to people online saying $5 for an entire pizza, and the pizza tastes way better than pizza guy. You know who I'm talking about, though. Little Caesars. All right, so whole different type of vibe. There are ways to be frugal in this economy, and with the money I have, I'm still frugal, but then I have to pay for like large stuff like, oh yeah, let's go buy this $5,000 computer, which is a tank so far. It's so beautiful. But yeah, things like that. Oh man. Costco pizza, best deal in town, $10. See, Vegas stick, that's exactly what I was talking about there. Exactly. $5 when they have too many pizzas and they're trying to sell them. Man, they still be fresh and hot and everything. I'm like, because they got them in those like little containers to keep them warm. Take them out, scan them at the register. I'm like, get myself a pizza for tonight. The only thing is, I feel bad, so what I do is I eat like maybe 3-4 pieces of pizza. No, 2-3 pieces of pizza because I'm dieting now. I haven't had pizza in like months. I eat pizza. And I find some homeless guy on the way home, and I give him the pizza, and I just save a slice for Loki so he can have a slice of pizza. But what do you call like it's too much pizza for one person. This is where it works if you have a family and stuff like a unit. $5 for pizza, and again, steam up some broccoli, steam up some green beans or something like that. You can make a dinner out of it. It's not going to look elegant, but man, you're going to be having your food dietary needs met. If you feel like you're not getting enough something, take a freaking vitamin. You know what I mean? It's tough times everybody's living in right now. Tough times. The casino's like $9 a slice. Yeah, there's no way that's happening. No way that's happening there. I think I haven't decided exactly where I'm staying in Vegas for this next trip coming up in May. But I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna come and stay at the Strat again. I was just there a few weeks ago at the Strat. The area around the Strat isn't my favorite, but I got the Grand Suite there. It was a lovely suite. The pool was nice, but it was pool was small, but it was nice. I liked it a lot. The workers there were very nice. I didn't have any issues, and I felt really nice about it. I've gone to other Frugal hotels in the past in Vegas, and the service has been really shitty. Like the Link had really shitty service. Harris had just okay service. The Strat surprisingly had good service, which I was very happy about. I was thinking about going to Mandalay Bay, but it's too far away from the Venetian for me to really want to go all the way down there this time. I think Mandalay Bay is more of a personal vacation stuff. When I'm traveling for like I would call it work events, basically crypto events, I'm very frugal, extremely frugal actually. But I was almost considering Circa this time too. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chill at Circa for a few days because I'm gonna on that Friday night I'm there. I've booked a table for myself at their club up on the top of the building to kind of enjoy myself and just look at the downtown Vegas while smoking some cigars and sipping on some spicy cocktails that they have over there. Really good stuff. Let's see, you haven't touched Domino's since 2018? I like Domino's. Yeah, I just haven't had it in a long time. It's been expensive. This last time I had Domino's was back in my college days. Not college days, but like early corporate days. Back when I, hanging out with friends every weekend, got pizza and stuff like that before we went out. Cheap stuff like that. That was back when pizza was affordable. At $22 for a 14-inch pizza, I don't consider that affordable at all. That's going back to luxury days, luxury days. You should see how Loki is looking at you talking about pizza. Well, right here, he's laying down and he's talking with me. You can see his, see, I just moved a little bit. He's like, oh, we going outside? I think that's what he's doing. He wants to get his toy and go outside. Yeah, you can see him right here. Excuse me. Yeah, he's having a fun time right now. Yeah, he just wants to go back outside and play because he sees the sun is blaring in right now. That's what he's hoping for at this moment in time. There you go. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna call it a day here. Literally at about an hour and 45 minutes, I will have another stream up and running here. We're gonna do a crypto politics and cyberpunk stream. I'll figure out the name here in a little bit more. You guys should see the update a little bit. I'm gonna spend some time getting everything ready, making sure I know how to do everything as far as getting everything ready with desktop audio and stuff like that. I think it should be pretty fun here, guys. So if you guys are doing anything tonight or not doing anything tonight, you guys just want to chill and watch me game, I don't expect as many viewers for that one, but I'm just gonna be making a thing, and as time goes on, I think it'll be pretty cool. But basically just playing some cyberpunk from the beginning, maybe starting a new mission or starting a new game, right? And then just chilling and playing. You know, I'm not going to the cigar lounge tonight. I'm not doing anything tonight. I'm taking the night kind of off from all the smoking and hanging with friends I've been doing. So I'm just gonna chill with you guys, make sure my seat is comfortable, make sure I got enough water and stuff like that to go, and then yeah, we'll be playing some games. So see you guys a little bit later, and if you guys want to, I'll see you guys in about